Have you ever found yourself wondering, ruminating, how you ended up agreeing to something you initially didn't want? Have you questioned why certain conversations leave you feeling as if you're in a fog, doubting your own thoughts? It could be that you're being subtly manipulated without even realizing it. In this interconnected world, we're constantly interacting with different people, each with their own intentions and methods. Often these interactions are enriching. But what happens when others' intentions become dark and their methods manipulative? Today, we're delving into the complex and often hidden world of manipulation. This video isn't just a simple talk, it's a revelation, a journey towards understanding the 10 most subtle and powerful forms of manipulation, and most importantly, how you can defend yourself against them. Why is this knowledge crucial? Because we live in an era where manipulation doesn't just come from the people around us, but also from larger omnipresent structures like media and social networks. Knowing these techniques isn't just an act of self-protection. It's a step towards greater autonomy and personal freedom. Today, I'll guide you through this labyrinth, showing you how to recognize and neutralize these tactics, from gaslighting that makes you question your reality to emotional manipulation that plays with your deepest feelings. Together, we'll unravel these strategies, providing you with the tools to maintain your power and make decisions that truly reflect your desires and needs. Join me on this journey of discovery and empowerment. If you are new here, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Statistics show that only 3% of my audience is subscribed to the channel. So, if this content has helped you in any way, I ask you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Form number 1, emotional manipulation. Emotional manipulation is like an invisible chess game, where the pieces are your emotions and the board is your mind. Imagine walking through an enchanted forest where each tree represents a different emotion: joy, fear, guilt. Each of these trees can be shaken by someone to make you lose your balance. First, it's crucial to understand that emotional manipulation isn't always evident. Often, it's disguised as concern, affection, or even a loaded silence. The manipulator is like a skilled magician in the art of diverting your attention so you don't see what they're really doing. This process begins with small actions or words that seem harmless, but gradually envelop you in a web of doubts and fears. A common tactic is the use of guilt. Imagine a friend asking you for a favor, one that's uncomfortable or imprudent. Upon refusal, they respond with a sigh of disappointment and a look that says more than words can express. "I thought we were friends," they say, and suddenly you find yourself questioning your decision, feeling selfish for putting your needs first. Another subtle form of emotional manipulation is fear. Someone might insinuate, without saying it directly, that something bad could happen if you don't follow their advice or do what they ask. It's like being in a dark room where the only light comes from the person manipulating you, making you dependent on their guidance and direction. So how can you defend yourself against these tactics? The first step is self-awareness. Take time to know your emotions, to understand what makes you happy, sad, angry, or scared. Like a gardener who knows every plant in their garden, you must know every emotion that blooms within you. This will give you the foundation to recognize when someone is trying to play with them. The second step is to establish clear boundaries. This doesn't mean building an impenetrable wall around yourself, but rather having doors that you can open or close at will. Learn to say no without feeling guilty and accept that you can't always please everyone. The third step is to seek balance in your relationships. A healthy relationship is like a dance where both participants move at the same pace and with the same respect for each other. If you feel you're always dancing to someone else's tune, it's time to rethink that relationship. Finally, never underestimate the power of honest communication. Confronting someone who emotionally manipulates you isn't easy. But sometimes a simple, "I feel this way," or "I'm not comfortable with that," can be enough to change the dynamic. Emotional manipulation is a dark art, but with awareness, clear boundaries, balance, and communication, you can become a master in the art of protecting your emotions. Remember, in the chess game of life, you are the king or queen of your own destiny. Form number 2, Beware of logical fallacies. Be alert to arguments that seem logical but are based on fallacies, such as personal attacks or generalizations. In the world of argumentation, logical fallacies are like mirages in a desert. They seem to offer refuge and truth, but as you get closer, they vanish, leaving only confusion and deceit. A logical fallacy occurs when the presented argument lacks a solid foundation, although it may seem reasonable or convincing on the surface. Identifying these fallacies is crucial for navigating the maze of daily communication and protecting oneself against subtle manipulation. A common type of fallacy is the personal attack, known in Latin as ad hominem. This occurs when, instead of addressing a person's argument, their character or personal attributes are attacked. Imagine you're debating politics, and instead of responding to your points, your opponent begins to criticize your education or past. It's as if, instead of playing fair, someone decided to throw sand in your eyes to blind you and steer you away from the real issue. Another frequent fallacy is the hasty generalization. Here, a small sample or personal experience is taken and extended to an entire group. It's as if after seeing one bird fly south, you conclude that all birds in the world fly south. This fallacy feeds on stereotypes and prejudices and is fertile ground for discrimination and misunderstandings. There's also the slippery slope fallacy, which argues that a small first step will inevitably lead to a chain of negative events. It's like saying that if you allow your child to stay up late one night, they will inevitably become a chronic insomniac. This fallacy plays with the fear of future consequences, often exaggerating possible effects. To protect yourself from these fallacies, the first step is to educate yourself about them. Knowing their forms and how they manifest in conversation is like having a map in this desert of mirage. When you hear an argument, ask yourself, is it really addressing the central point? Is it based on solid evidence or assumptions? Additionally, developing critical thinking is essential. Don't take everything you hear at face value. Question, analyze, and seek the evidence behind the arguments, like a detective in search of the truth. Don't be fooled by appearances. Finally, learn to recognize and avoid using these fallacies in your arguments. Keep your discussions focused on facts and logic, and you'll be contributing to a more honest and productive dialogue. In short, being alert to logical fallacies is like having a compass in a sea of confusing and often deceptive arguments. It keeps you on the path of reason and truth, protecting you from being manipulated by arguments that, although they shine like gold, are in reality as solid as air. Form number 3, gaslighting detection. Recognize when someone tries to make you doubt your reality or perception. Gaslighting, or psychological manipulation, is a subtle and often insidious form of emotional manipulation. Gaslighting, a subtle and often insidious form of emotional manipulation, occurs when someone tries to make you doubt your reality or perception. It's akin to a mental game where the manipulator attempts to sow doubts in the victim's mind about their memory, perception, or sanity. Imagine someone slowly moving the furniture around in your house and then denying that anything has changed, making you question your reality. This tactic can take various forms. One of the most common is denial, where the manipulator simply refuses to acknowledge the truth or invalidates your experiences. It's like confessing to having seen a shooting star, and someone insists you only imagined seeing it, even though you were completely sure of what you saw. Another form of gaslighting is the distortion of facts. The manipulator may twist reality to make you doubt your memories. For example, if you clearly remember a conversation where something was agreed upon, the manipulator might insist it never happened, or that something completely different was said. It's like being in a maze of mirrors, where each reflection distorts reality a bit more. Gaslighting can also manifest through trivialization, where your feelings and thoughts are minimized or ridiculed. It's like being told you're making a storm in a teacup over something genuinely concerning or painful to you. To detect and counteract gaslighting, it's important to trust your intuition and your memories. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Keep a record of events, conversations, and your feelings. This can be a journal or notes on your phone. Having a factual record can help you validate your experience and remember the exact details. Moreover, seek support from trusted friends or family members. Often, talking to someone outside the situation can provide a clearer perspective and validate your experiences. Self-care and self-affirmation are also vital. Strengthen your self-esteem and remember that you have the right to your thoughts, feelings, and memories. Practicing meditation or talking to a therapist can be greatly helpful in maintaining your emotional well-being.